Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this very special first episode of the 10 Club podcast. Today we have some very special guests. You guessed it, sponsored skateboarders from the San Francisco Bay Area. I'll be your host Joel, and this is the 10 Club. Anyways, let's kick things off. Here with us today we have the one and only Manuel Herrera, better known as Mogely. You may have seen him in the last Disney hit, The Jungle Book.
You know, that movie didn't land so well, so I had to pick up skateboarding. So
I'm glad you found a different career choice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And in this corner of the ring, we also have pro skater Chris Perez, a.k.a. Chris McNugget.
Yeah, they call him McNugget.
That was so calm.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
so
truth.
Peaceful.
And lastly, we have none other than the up-and-coming filmer for Braille, Andrew Thompson.
Yeah, that's me. I film for Braille.
Very, very accurate.
He's more than a filmer, I think.
Am I?
Yeah. You're just waiting.
I don't know.
You're waiting to blossom.
Yeah, he's in the cocoon right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been skating for like 5 years.
He has some of the best for anyone that skateboards. He has the best 360 flips I've seen and witnessed in person, just by my eye.
I'm going to have to concur that I agree.
If you want to play someone skate, you should play the champ. Chris is the champ.
Who, me?
He's never been beaten.
When he takes it serious.
I don't know who's beaten me one-on-one.
Oh, last person was John Hill.
I think he's the only... Yeah.
And it was because of Gabe's... And I'm calling you out, Gabe. Your reffing was off right there.
Shout out Gabe.
That frontside flip should have counted. You know what?
Hey, I punished him real good. I'll leave it there.
Anyways, to get started, I want to ask each of you guys individually for like a chronological history, like how you got from learning how to push a skateboard all the way to today, like everything in between. Does anyone want to go first?
I'll speed run mine.
Sweet.
Game's done quick. GDQ, let's go.
All right, so I started skateboarding in 2004. It was December. I was wondering where my friend was at. It was in the neighborhood, and I just went to his house, and he was skating, and he's like, yeah, I just started skating 2 weeks ago, or like a few weeks ago, which was back in November. And I was like, all right, well, this looks fun, and I want to hang out with you, so I'm going to try it. And then boom, 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 that hit. And from there, it was like maybe 3 years in, I really fell in love with it, and I had known that I fell in love with it. And that's when I had already started watching skate videos. So I already had an idea of like the format and structure that I wanted to go off of. So I got a camera, and it's crazy because like I've been filming ever since then. I've never not had a camera on me and like just filming like my progression or just like my adventures with skateboarding. So turning that around is like crazy to look back. And currently I'm looking back at a lot of footage from 2010, 11, 12, 13, which is pretty amazing. And I find it a blessing to be able to look back and see where I was.
Amen.
So from there, I started looking up sponsors. How can I do it? And it was trial and error, honestly, because like you would just look at the emails and you would try to email a lot of people. Sometimes you'd get some yeses. Sometimes you'd get like, try again, or like keep sending us your tapes. And like I got so burnt out from like hearing keep sending us tapes in, because like it'd be like maybe 4 times that the same person is like, dang, it feels like you're just saying that now. And from there I just kind of like focused on a full length with friends, and that was like kind of that something that kept pushing my passion and my growth with skateboarding, because like I wanted to prove that we can make a full length together. We ended up putting it out in 2015. And then from there, it was a year later that I started doing YouTube. So 2016, like January, actually it was Christmas of 2015, I started doing YouTube, like where I was focusing more on that than like traditional skateboarding, like on the streets, which I was still doing, but I was having more fun making YouTube videos along capturing like the journey of what it is to go skate with your friends and street skate. So all that led to another full length, which is like a big compilation of like vlogs, just put down to what the core skater likes is the full length format. And so in 2019, I put out another full length. And then recently last year, I put out another full length of kind of the same thing with a lot of other friends. So I have 3 full lengths, and it's been a journey because of just the core skating and a mixture of making YouTube videos, and that's what's led me here to Braille. And the person that connected me to Braille was Nigel Alexander, also NKA. That's how he's known by. And that happened 2019. And he connected me to Aaron Cairo, owner of Braille Skateboards. So from there, this is where I've been. And I still continue to make YouTube videos, skate, and progress as much as possible.
Sweet. What about you, Chris? Could you give us a quick rundown?
I can try. Yeah. So I'm 30 years old right now. I was born in 91, Santa Maria, California. Shout out to 805. Let's go. When I was, I believe, 8 years old, I was in a living room with my family and they were watching NASCAR. And I asked them to switch the channel. And then sure enough, there was an X Games street contest going on. I guess park, because they had vert and they had the street, which they called park back then. And I saw it. I'm like, what's that? That's crazy. Like, it was pretty cool. I was very, very intrigued. And so I asked them if we could watch it and they were like down with it. I'm like, all right, sick. So we actually watched a little bit of it. And then from that, seeing that really piqued my interest in skating. And so I think I told my grandparents, and next year they got me a Sony PlayStation 1. And with that console, they bought me Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. So that was my first game for PlayStation. Played that a lot. Learned about the word career from that game because I never seen that word before. And I was like, I had to look it up. And then I found out like people can have skateboarding as their job. And I'm like, what the heck? That's crazy. And so that just really, like, playing that game for hours and hours on end made me fall in love with the sport. And then ended up getting my own skateboard when I was 9, and then just sucked complete balls at skating for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. It took me like 2.5 years to kickflip. But anyways, I kept at it. I fell in love with it. It was something I was really passionate about. You know, I met a lot of people through it, so I kept doing it. In high school, I started a YouTube channel, and then was like, this is a pretty cool way to like put my clips out and then send them to my friends on like MySpace or Facebook. Like, this is genius. So I kept doing YouTube stuff. Eventually got sponsored by a local shop and then started doing a lot better on YouTube. Like, people started finding my stuff. I was making up a bunch of crazy tricks and crazy combos. So blew up on there, started making money in high school. And then from there, I just started meeting other YouTubers and stuff through the internet and like collabing, connecting, building my connections. And then, so now I'm friends with like some of these bigger YouTubers, you know, Andy Schrock, Josh Katz, Brett Novak, Doug Destel's, Amskater. And through those connections, I was invited to come up to Braille one time for this, I believe it was a Revive skate video premiere that we did up there. And so I went with Doug and friends and then met all the guys and then kind of like was a guest in some of the videos here and there. And they liked me enough to invite me back, you know, maybe like once every couple months, like for a weekend to film with Braille. They'd put me in a hotel, I'd film with them, and then I'd go home and then go work my regular job, live my regular life. And then eventually they needed somebody to come on full time, and they like hit me up and they're like, hey, we want you to be on the team officially. Come like film with us full time. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. So I was living in the Braille house for a little bit with Mo, actually. Remember that? We would sleep overnight at Braille on the concrete.
Hold up, in the Braille house?
Yeah. You know, we went through some stuff to get where we're at today.
Where?
The floor.
Yeah, in if you know where like Gabe's office is.
I slept in Gabe's office on the concrete. We would pull our cars into the Braille house because, like,
at the time there was no gate.
Yeah, it was sketch. Anyways,
how long ago was this?
This was probably
2020.
This was about 1.5 years ago.
Oh, so a couple years ago.
I think it was 2020.
This was it was right before I started working there.
2020.
All I know is that we've been in the house. So we got a Braille home. We ended up renting a spot up here because I needed a place to live and work because I live in Pismo Beach and I have my condo there. So I was driving up a bunch. But now found a spot to move in with Ricky Glaza and our editor, Ozzy Dan. He was a filmer at the time too. And so, yeah, we live pretty close to Braille now. Been there for about 1.5 years.
I think it's crazy how you had one of the first skateboarding YouTube channels.
Yeah, that's
in
crazy.
general.
I did. So Aaron Cairo, you know Braille Skateboarding, the channel? So my YouTube was started like around the same time his started. So that's how much I blew it, is Braille is what it is now. And then my channel's just like there, like, meh.
You could have been Nugget Skateboarding.
I wanted to be Nugget Skateboarding, but my grandma, so I was making money off YouTube in high school already. I was a junior. I think I shouldn't have done that because I said I was 18 when they asked me about taxes. And I said, yeah, I'm 18, give me money. And so I was getting paid in high school. And so when I finished high school, my grandparents are pretty old fashioned. That's who I lived with. My parents kind of I live with my grandparents, and yeah, my grandma's like, you either go to school full time or you get a job or pay rent. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do YouTube and pay rent with that, blah, blah, blah. And like, so I was doing that. And then I don't know, they just didn't understand it, and they got pretty upset, and they wanted me to get an actual job because I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to spend time skating and not going to school. So I'm like, dang it, okay, I'll work. First job was Walmart, worked overnight stocking, crappiest job ever, ruined my sleep schedule. And that was where my groove of like uploading YouTube content to my own channel kind of like was thrown off because I was working overnights, and then yeah, it was crazy. And then I kind of just like over it. I was like, oh, I make a little more money working, so I'll just do that for a while. And then skating was secondary, and then little by little I kind of just drifted further away from doing YouTube stuff. And yeah,
Came full circle though.
it did come full circle. So I trusted the process, and it all happened in divine order. Now I went from working poopy job to working super job. So
It's crazy.
It's pretty
that
cool.
Your overnight experience was different than mine, because once I started doing graveyard, I felt like I had so much time.
Yeah,
Like,
because you sat in a chair. I had to put stuff on shelves, a lot of things.
I was literally able to catch up on so much anime and like start connecting with other YouTubers. I was like, yo, this is the best. But you're right, sleep schedule is crazy.
Mowgli in a chair, McNug putting thousands of items on shelves. So
Respect.
I wish I could just sit there, honestly.
Nah, sometimes it got boring and like you start dazing.
I would rather be bored than putting Campbell's soup on the shelves. For sure. But
Where do you work?
I was doing security work.
Oh,
So like I was just doing overnight, like at a empty parking lot. So literally nothing was going down except for cats just like running around. And I would just feed them potatoes, and
you fed cats potatoes.
no, they were fried potatoes.
That's even worse.
So all right, let me tell you. All
Like
right,
French fries?
no, like fried potatoes from like the frying like pan. You know,
Like you like slice
you
them?
slice them up and you just fry them, and you put Himalayan salt on them, and it tastes
Cooked
good.
potatoes for the cats.
No, for myself.
Oh,
because this is
okay.
when I first just went. All right, way off topic, but I just went vegan around this point, and I didn't know what being vegan was and how hard it was. So I had to sacrifice everything I knew, and I was like, potatoes. That's not an animal. I'll make this, and it's filling. Because like when you first go vegan, it's so hard to get that feeling
What feeling?
of being full.
Like being well fed?
Yeah. So, but potatoes did it. It's starch. It's starch.
yeah, like not being malnourished.
Yeah, probably. I probably was dying. Who knows? Actually,
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't
something
know.
that I kept thinking. I was like, if I make it past a month, I'm good. Because I don't know if I'm going to live. Coming back to the cats, it started becoming this routine. Every time around 7 or 8 p.m., they would just show up, and I'm like, all right, guys. All right. Here you go.
You're the papatero, huh, for the
Yeah,
cats?
yeah.
Dang.
But I had a lot of free time on that job, and it led me to where I am today. Because then when I was off work, I was able to skate and like create what I was going to do when I was at work. So it was like really amazing. And shout out to the security guard at Foods Co. Because like they told me like, yo, you're working too hard here and you're not going to go nowhere. There's no moving up here. And I was like, all right, I'm going to just get hired where you're working. Because like that's what she put me on. So shout out to Polly.
Hey, I just wish the cats could know how far you've come.
They're probably like, damn, what happened to him?
I think they're more bummed they don't get potatoes anymore.
Dude, it was so sick just seeing all of them all the time. That's where the meowing comes. Like, you know,
I
at the
thought so.
you know, Braille, like you see the cats and I'll just meow.
Can you do it?
Meow.
So any animal this guy sees, he'll try and Dr. Doolittle him.
No, but I would have so much. I'm talking about endless amount. It's like someone gives you $1 million each day. You eventually start not knowing what to do with that money. So
Cat.
that was time. Whenever I was like at that job, I was like, well, the cats are here. I could watch this video in a bit, but the cat's not gonna be here in like a bit. It's gonna wander off because it's a cat. So I like started like trying to meow at it, like try to get closer so I could pet it. It's just its own journey.
We'll be in like a car together. Like we'll be in his car driving, and then if like there's a dog in the car next to us, he'll start barking at the dog, and the dog will sometimes get like really excited. So I'm like always really scared that the dog's gonna jump out of the car when he's like barking at it, because your barks are genuinely realistic.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's like trying to talk to them, you know? It's like, what's up, bro? How's it going?
You ever do that with turtles? You ever see a
I don't
turtle?
even know what a turtle sounds like.
In a different world, I would try to do a Crush the Turtle impression, But for the sake of being a good host, I'll spare you guys from that. So, what about you, Andrew? Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got here?
Well, I only started skating like 5 or 6 years ago. I was 14 and I'm 20 now.
But why did you start skating?
One of my friends, like, we used to play Super Smash Brothers at my house every day.
Best game.
Yeah, we would, and all my friends would come over to my house and we would just play Super Smash Brothers like every single day. And then one of my friends came with a longboard one time and he wouldn't let me ride it. And I was like upset. Like, why aren't you
That's the homie.
yeah, why won't you let me ride your longboard? He's like, dude, you can't touch it.
Blessing in disguise.
I guess like sometime during my childhood, my brother like asked for a skateboard for Christmas, and my dad is a like professional musician, so he knows like you don't go to Walmart for like specialty things. You have to go to a skate shop. So he went to some skate shop in Sacramento and got a Stefan Janoski Habitat board.
Dang.
And Venture trucks.
Good
and
taste.
Spitfire wheels. So I went to my mom's house because my parents were split up. But I went to my mom's house and grabbed that board and was like, I need to push around because I saw my friend on his longboard pushing around and I've got to learn how to ollie. And ever since that first day of like learning how to ollie, it was like every day trying to learn how to kickflip for 5 hours, trying to ollie for however long it was. And then I would go to the skate park and eventually I met this guy and his name was Aaron LaHaye.
That's my boy. Shout out LaHaye.
Yeah, Aaron LaHaye is really cool.
Don't let the other Braille guys hear that.
Nah, I love Aaron LaHaye. I think Aaron LaHaye is a really cool dude, and I feel like
Just
we
misunderstood.
would be more friends.
He
Even if
is-
we didn't skate, we'd be good friends.
He's one of the coolest people I ever met. And I just was at the skate park one day and he was playing Hers on his speaker, his portable speaker. And I was like, I really like Hers. That band's sick. And I told him, like, Hers is just so dope. He was like, thank you. And I don't know. Every day after that, we started hanging out. And he told me that he won some kind of competition to be an editor at Braille. And like,
He won a contest for that?
yeah, and he was just randomly editing at Braille. And during this time, my dad moved to Oakland. So then I was like all of a sudden in Oakland, and then Aaron would come to my house and like stay the night, go to Braille the next day, work the whole day, come back to my house, sleep, and then go to Braille, work again, and then come home and sleep. And like, that was kind of like the whole thing, and I was going to school at the time. But then one day during lunch, Aaron was like, come and like hang out with me during lunch and like we'll go eat food and get lunch with Mogely. And I met Mogely and Mogely was like, we were just talking about skating and whatnot. And I don't really remember like.
We didn't really click at that moment just because I was probably busy and it was such a short little lunch break. But where we did click the most was during I was vlogging and then we went to Denny's. And this is this is like when we first heard about COVID. And like it was like all jokes before like the pandemic was actually like, it was like a few weeks before the pandemic happened, like legit happened. Like we were just like, oh, did you hear this thing in China? Like there's a virus, da, da, da. And we're just like, Andrew was sniffling and I was like, oh, you probably have it. And he's like, and he looked at me, he's like, maybe I do. And I was like, oh, snaps. But that's where we clicked the most.
Yeah. And during that time, like right around that period, I was like, let's go street skating. And then Mogely was like, yeah, I want to street skate too. And you can actually see all that. You can see us going to Denny's. You can see us street skating, all this stuff on his channel. Like he's documented all of it from the beginning, like our friendship from the beginning. So there's like a video of us going through San Francisco called like SF Night Skating. I'm pretty sure that's all it's called. And that's like the second time I ever hung out with Mogely. And we just took Bart to San Francisco and rode around the city and filmed. And at the time, I wasn't really filming. I didn't learn how to film yet. So my friend Aaron was filming all of that video. But like later on, I ended up just filming all of Mogely's videos and we would hang out like a bunch. I don't know if we hung out like instantly right after that. Like
It was like probably like just when I would see you or like I just hit you up like, yo, you trying to go skate or you trying to go film? And then from there, just like slowly started escalating. And then one day, Braille was like doing like they were hiring people to help build skateboards, and I told one of the ladies that was working there at the time, I was like, oh, hit this guy up, and she did, and that's how he started working there. Originally, first setting up skateboards.
yeah, so there used to be a shop at Braille. All the product from Braille would be shipped out from the location in San Leandro. So I would sit in the warehouse and put together complete skateboards for people who ordered a complete, because a lot of the people ordering are beginners and they don't know how to put together a skateboard yet. So I don't know. I was doing that for a while, and then I would go and film with Mogely for his channel, and he was teaching me how to film skateboarding. Like I pretty much learned how to film skateboarding from Mogely. And then after that, after a little while, they actually were like, we're going to move the shop to Oregon because the CEO of Braille isn't actually Aaron Cairo anymore. It's this other person named Devin, and she lives up in Oregon. So she wanted to be able to look at the shop, and then they also wanted the space in the warehouse to build more ramps. They built the vert ramp. I don't know if you've seen that. So they were like, yeah, you don't really have like a job here anymore. You're kind of fired. It's like,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you got laid off.
They laid me off, and I was like, because Cairo wasn't the manager of the shop. It was this other lady named Chloe. Yeah, she like laid me off and was like, yeah, you don't really have a job here anymore after this month. And I was like, sweet, great, thanks. And I don't know, a few weeks later, Cairo, I guess Ricky was telling Cairo that, oh yeah, Andrew's down just to like film like whenever. He's always free for you guys. Like he's just down. And I was like, thanks, Ricky. Because like that's actually was really good for me because Cairo would just start hitting me up like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Like, come film. Like one time they were streaming on YouTube, like just like random live stream.
Yeah, like a 24-hour one.
A 24-hour, yeah, 24-hour live stream. And I wrote in the comments, like, for this live stream, hey, guys, can I come down to Braille real quick? And, like, have Ricky sign my board. Because it was a Ricky Pro model signing during this live stream. And Ricky, like, was signing a bunch of people's boards. And then they would ship those boards out to people so that they had, like, a personal signature from Ricky. But I was like, can I bring my board down of Ricky's to get signed? Because Mogely gave me a Ricky board. So I went down there, and I ended up filming from like 11 p.m. till like 7 a.m.
So
Something
you just
like that.
disappeared for the night.
Yeah.
Like my shift at Walmart.
I know. I took the night shift. I took the graveyard
Yeah,
shift.
dude.
And I went and I filmed this guy named Rick G. He tried a kickflip for I don't know how many hours that is, but
I still remember that night.
yeah, and he didn't even end up landing it. But
Hey,
Rick is a legend.
You check out his IG now. He's landing them.
Yeah,
he's
he is
landing
the
them.
dopest guy ever.
He's like in his 40s too.
But yeah, I don't know. After a while, Cairo just kept hitting me up, and then they were paying. I was on payroll in the shop, and they took me off payroll because they're like, "You don't work here anymore." And then they're like, "Okay, come in and film all the time." Eventually, they were like, "We're gonna put you on a schedule, and you're gonna come in during these days." And then ever since then, I've been filming Braille Army, which is the second channel, pretty much weekly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Basically every week.
So I want to know like what your guys' favorite memories are so far with Braille, like working for them, not working for them, like anything Braille related.
My favorite memory of Braille is whenever the Happy Medium group came. That day was the best for me. Like it was like peak of what I think and still believe the whole brand as a whole is. One, they invited a group and we got to skate with this group and we were skating a car. So we like skated the car, this trunk, and then over it. And just that energy, it was like insane. Just like everyone wants to be there. Everyone is like enjoying it. And it's like so much excitement going on. Like you feel like you're progressing 10 times faster than you normally would if you were just by yourself. Then we go against them in a friendly manner. And then even that itself was hilarious. So shout out to Happy Medium. They're literally the coolest group in skateboarding, I believe.
True.
Just what they bring, what they're about, and how friendly they come off. So as far as I know, in my experience, that right there has been one of the best like moments. And I still think about that moment. I'm pretty sure there'll be more like in the future, but to me, that's still one of the best.
Okay, so while we're on this topic, I want to ask the opposite. Like, what's your worst memory at Braille?
Probably the day that I twisted my ankle, which is like December, like it just passed. Oh, I swear, I'm not even joking. I felt so good that day. It was crazy. I was like burning. I was like, oh, dude, we're here at this college. I think
SFSU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was skating this ledge. It's like kind of curved. And I got on the trick I was nervous about. I was like, okay, I don't know how to approach this because like the nose is like I'm gonna be balancing on my nose. I got on one. I was like, okay, cool. The second one I put down and my foot slipped off and I twisted my ankle, and immediately everything just went downhill for me. It felt like, so like even to this day, cause like that's December, we're in April right now. So it's like within 5 months, I still feel like I'm healing my ankle. It feels a lot better since then, but I feel like it still needs some healing. And then that just leads into like me having a bruised or sprained rib right now, which just like makes me think, dang, this sucks. Cause like I'm coming off that and then I'm feeling better. Then this happens. So now I got to wait. And it's like almost every day I look at skateboarding, I'm like, I just want to skate. I just want to be able to ride the board and challenge myself and throw my body. I know that sounds weird, but I just want to be able to be freely without thinking about falling and being postponed again. So as far as like the worst day, that's probably, and I don't even want to say it's the worst. I want to say maybe it did something good for me to like not push myself anywhere in areas where it would hurt me more, or just, that's the way I want to think about it.
Do you feel like your body's slowing you down physically yet? Like, because when you're a kid, you could send stair sets all day long and get up for school the next day. But I imagine it's a different story now, right?
100%. I think nowadays it's different. Like even Chris, like he works out, maintains his body. So it's like,
Yes, sir.
you got to maintain your body in there. You do. Like you got to maintain your body and to be able to perform the way you want to skate. Like let's say we work out every few days. That way you're not overworking yourself and you're working out the parts of your body that you're going to be using the most. You're only going to perform better, but also your body's not going to be as sore if you're doing that every other day. But even then, like we're not choosing to go skate every day because we do want to let our body rest, and resting is part of healing.
I agree with you 100% on that. What about you, Chris? Do any Braille memories come into mind?
Yeah, I don't have one favorite memory in mind, but I do really enjoy when us as a team get to go travel outside of the Braille House. We'll go on like, little mini tours, and like those are always the best times. So we've done tours down to like San Diego, down to LA, up to like the Pacific Northwest, out to New York. And we did one in New Mexico. It was just like the pro tour, and like probably that whole trip was like probably my favorite moment, just being out with the boys and just traveling Arizona, New Mexico, hanging out.
Oh, that's when you guys skated with Jaws,
yeah,
right?
we skated with Happy Medium, and then we hung out with the Waterborne team. Shout out Patty. And that whole trip was just really fun. I like being out and like experiencing the world, exploring the world with the Braille team. It's a lot of fun.
For that New Mexico trip, we woke up really early just to see hot air balloons. It was sick.
Oh, that's so
there's
cool.
a hot air balloon festival in New Mexico, and we got to go like kind of be part of that, and that was really cool. As far as my worst, I forget what it was, but I was popping by the Braille House one time. This was before I lived up there. I actually had my car broken into and lost about $6,000 worth of equipment. Cameras, MacBook Pro, Nintendo Switch, all my clothes at the time, because I had everything packed for that trip I was going on.
They took your clothes?
Yeah, it was my whole suitcase. So I was going to the Braille House because we had a hotel. I was staying as a guest. This is before I was like on the team officially. And I was going to to Braille to go pick up Doug to take him to the hotel. So I hadn't checked in, and so I had all my stuff in the backseat. And then like we were there for like 25, 30 minutes, and like I came back out and like my window was busted and all my stuff was gone. So in my MacBook Pro, I had like a bunch of like years worth of music I made and like a bunch of old footage. So that was kind of just gone. And then even at that same time, I think like a day or two before, I had just broken up with my girlfriend of 5 years, or like we just broke up. And so I was going through a lot at that time, and it sucked.
It's kind of coincidence because when I split up with someone, I lost my hard drive that carried like my whole skate life with me in there, and it pains me. But I'm recently going through a lot of tapes that a lot of the memories weren't in the hard drive, so blessing in disguise maybe.
Yeah, there was no blessing in disguise for me. It just pure suck. No, but it did teach me like to let go of things, because like obviously I was bummed I lost all my equipment, but then I was like, this is kind of just like a good opportunity and a test for me to see if I can just bounce back from something like as devastating as this in my life. Sure enough, I did, and now I've never been depressed until that point, and I went through it for like a month, I would say. And so now I have like a deeper understanding of depression and what it feels like to go through that. So when I have friends that are like depressed, I can actually better help them get through it because I understand what helps me get through it. And before that, people would be like, oh, I'm depressed, like a friend or whatever, a family member. And I'm just like, well, go do something that makes you happy. And it's like,
Yeah, that's
stop being sad.
I 100% agree with that. Like at first I was like, what the fuck is depression? Like, yo, just go do things that make you happy.
Bro, just stop being
Yeah,
sad.
but then dealing with it myself, it's like it is like a disease, you know, a lack of ease in the body, and it's like it's not something you could just switch right away. But yeah, I learned what helped me cope with it, and that was, you know, not being afraid to express like the things I'm going through and the way I'm feeling to friends that actually care, and like just spending time with them and being able to tell them things, you know, little by little. Brought me back, because before that, like I didn't talk to anybody, I didn't play guitar, I didn't skate. I would just make really fire sandwiches and watch like Netflix all day. I started watching Stranger Things at the time. So, you know, if you're not feeling good, it's really easy to like shut yourself away from the world. But like I said, reaching out to people that care is probably going to be the best way to heal and recover quickly. And the world needs you, so hurry up and recover from whatever you're going through.
Dude, how are you guys so positive all the time? Like, I'm sure some people feel like when they're watching the videos that they're just seeing what's on the other end of the camera, that a bunch of stuff's edited out. And I'm sure that's true because skateboarding is super frustrating. But talking to you guys now, I'm like, that's just how you actually are.
Yeah, I mean, we work for Braille for a reason, you know. They don't just put anybody on the Braille team, and it's definitely an honor to be part of something like this, because it's changing the world. For sure, in my opinion.
No, yeah, it is making a difference. Like, I've noticed when my own little brothers watch you guys, like,
Yeah.
you guys are making an impact.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
And that's it makes me happy, because I feel like at least right now, this is like my bigger impact on the world. You know, everybody has their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was always trying to find that, and I wanted it to be skating, this and that. And like now that we're out here, like seeing the difference we're making by inspiring everybody to get into skating, and knowing how much happiness skating brings me, I feel like we actually are making a positive change throughout the world, just by pushing skateboarding to be the biggest sport in history. So it's an honor to be part of this force, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and this stuff, like, all reminds me of what Aaron Cairo would say, like, about pushing skateboarding and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta
Thank him a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna
Cairo's
say
awesome.
thank you, Aaron Cairo, because without Aaron Cairo, we wouldn't be in this position right here.
Yeah, every time I get the chance to see him, every time I tell him, "Hey, bro, thank you." No, because like seriously, he changed my life. Like, if it wasn't for him saying, "Oh yeah, just come work for us," I would not be doing what I'm doing now. So I really have a high appreciation for him, and I always tell him like, "Yo, thank you." Same thing with NK, them too. Every time I see them, thank you, and they'll be like, "For what?" I'm like, "Bro, you changed my life, so thank you."
Hey, stay grateful, right? What about you, Andrew?
I'd say, so the first day I started working at Braille, Mogely decided to bring his friend Ipe up to up to Braille, and Ipe might be one of my favorite people, or he definitely is one of my favorite people. Mogely and I have a group chat with him, and it is an amazing group chat.
It's called horny.
Yeah, it's called horny
Bruh.
because that's what Ipe is.
It's a good adjective.
To
Great.
describe, all right. A lot of people might be like thrown off by why horny, but when I think of that word, I think of another definition like, "Yo, you're coming on too strong." Like with your opinions, they're too strong.
Ipe has a lot of opinions.
Yeah,
Is he like blunt or what?
He can be, you know, he's the type
or he
of guy.
could beat around the bush.
Yeah, that's true as well. But he is the type of guy to be on the session and be like, that was not the trick.
So
you have
you're-
to redo that.
You're telling me Ipe is like always extra horny, or what?
Yeah, he's extra horny.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely extra horny.
I better hang out with him more then.
Bro, he'll call you out if you toe drag. He's like,
I will call him back out though. That's why I need to meet him, because I will just call him out too.
That's all good. He doesn't care.
I know, and that's it's good to not care, because like sometimes people call you out, and like you need to be called out, but sometimes you take it personally, and don't take it personal.
And I mean, if you watch Ipe's videos, they're incredible because he has such a high standard for his own filming and for the tricks that are done in them and what he's putting out. He just has a high standard for himself and the content that he's making. So maybe being that horny is good.
Yeah, I think being horny is conducive to being dope.
But yeah, so I never met Ipe before, and I come into the shop and I'm putting together, like, I'm just pressing bearings into wheels, and this kid is just sitting, or he's like not a kid, he's older than me, but this dude is just like sitting there, like, just like giving me so much shit, just hazing me, like, and just being the worst. And I'm like talking to him about skating, and he's like told me like an hour, and he's like, you actually know about skating? I thought you would just be some random dude that came to work at Braille because you're like a poser or something.
Dude, that impression's pretty good.
Not only that, but it was funnier because like at the time COVID was pretty like big in the warehouse, so he was the only one wearing a mask.
Who,
Yeah.
Ipe?
Yeah.
And I remember like he just had this blue fuzzy mask on, and I was like,
That's horny.
Yeah. So there's like, he comes into Braille, like, his homies with Mogely. Usually, like, whenever anybody comes in the Braille, it's like, yeah, come in the park, just skate around, do whatever. Like, no one really cares. But this lady, Holly, and I hate to throw Holly on the bus. But
Nah, she needs to be under the bus.
okay,
I'm just kidding.
she wasn't my favorite, but it's whatever. But she basically was like, no, you can't skate. You're Mowgli's homie. You have to come and work in the shop, and you have to work and like for free. So he's just doing like,
Hold on, you weren't even getting paid?
well, I'm getting paid, but he had to work in the shop because he's just Mowgli's homie that like came with him from Bakersfield or whatever. He's just there like all bummed out, like working in the shop, like. But then while he's working in the shop, like 2 pro skaters are in the park that aren't like normal Braille people. It's Paul Hart and Neen Williams, and we can just hear how fun it is out there, like. Just so epic, like, like Gabe Scree, like, yo, what the fuck, Paul Hart? And then Ipe and I are just sitting there, like, Ipe's just bummed out, was about to post a YouTube video, so he's like, I haven't slept in 48 hours, and he's just.
I'm surprised Ipe let himself get stuck in that situation.
I told him just go in there and skate, like. But it was my first day too. I
He
wasn't
just
like,
succumbed to Holly's like demands and
Yeah.
like, works for free.
yeah, and then Glow was.
Dang, he played himself.
I mean, you know how Glow is. Glow just likes to kind of fuck with people, and Glow is kind of going along with what Holly was saying just to kind of fuck with him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then, so he took it like super seriously, and like it's like I have to sit here all day. I cannot move.
He played himself on
So
that one.
that's probably my favorite memory. Is my first day of working at Braille.
Hold on, so is that favorite or worst?
I don't know.
I think
It's
it's like a
kind of
mixture of
sick
both. It
because
was-
I became like really good friends with Ipe that day, just because even though he was hazing me, it's just like
See,
this
silver
guy's
lining.
dope.
Silver lining.
I don't know. I guess that could be the best and the worst.
well, Paul Hart, I think at that time he said was one of his favorite skaters. So when we were going back south, we dropped them off at the airport in SF, and he was knocked out. Ipe was knocked out, and I told Paul Hart, like, yo, take a selfie with my phone. It'll be epic, because like Ipe's like, you're one of his favorite skaters, which he did. And then I later surprised Ipe, like, yo, look, check this photo out. So
That's sick. This episode of The 10 Club brought to you by Braille Skateboarding. We here at Braille Skateboarding make it our mission to make skateboarding the world's most popular sport. And if you're a skater, we have everything you need at brailleskateboarding.com. We'll see you in the parking lot.
Okay, so big question now. And I've been wondering this before even making this podcast. What's it like being pro? Because every skater's dream is to be pro. That's the whole chase. And do you feel like you can die happy now? Is it true, or how do you feel?
I will say that for me is absolutely true. Because, yeah, I did invest a lot of my time and energy into skateboarding. And one of the highest accolades in skateboarding is becoming a professional. So I will definitely die happier than if I died when I wasn't pro. So, yes.
I'll start off with when it comes down to how I feel now, like honestly, if someone said, you should stop skateboarding. We'll pay you to do all this other stuff. I would probably do whatever is sustainable. That way I could skate on my free time and enjoy it as free as possible, because I feel that whenever you're doing it for like just yourself versus doing it for anyone else, or like thinking about being pro, there's less judgment involved, and it's more on like your creativity and what you enjoy skateboarding. Like you can skate anything and no one's going to judge you. You add the label pro, people judge you. There's like so much judgment, but of course that comes with any industry.
Only God can judge me.
I love that. That's a good song. That's a good song. Only God could judge me. I would say that I almost never think about it anymore, because I still feel the same way like I ever felt just skateboarding. I think I get more enjoyment whenever I do something new, or when I go traveling and I skate spots I've never been to. I think those give me more of a feeling than pro. I will say whenever I was surprised with the board in front of my face with all my friends and everyone that I work with, it did feel different, and it just caught me by surprise. I appreciate that, because that's an experience that many don't get to feel. And I do understand that there's not many people that will put in a lot of time into skateboarding or care about it the same way we do. I think just when I talk to Andrew or Chris or anyone else that skates, and I have like all these random little facts that I know about skateboarding, I put in the time to just know about so-and-so skating to this song. And it's just like when you're walking in a Hot Topic, or when you're just walking in a Walmart and you listen to a song and it just starts playing, you're like, oh yeah, so-and-so skated to this. That's insane. I'm not even thinking about the artist or the song. I'm thinking about the skater that skated to that song. And then I'm just like, that comes with like inspiration, because I wanted to be on that level with skateboarding. And I'm just going on full circles, but I guess I feel fulfilled that I was able to complete a journey that I set out for myself. I appreciate every aspect of skateboarding, and I can understand that maybe some people don't see me as a real pro, but that's cool, because like they'll probably never understand how much I love it, how much work I've put into it, and how much I really, really just understand and admire almost every skater that I see on a board, and how inspirational everyone just like helps me and just like gives me ideas to expand off of that.
Speaking on that whole like hearing a song and putting it to a skate video, and like how you can connect it to a skate video. I've like, out of anybody that I know who's like a super skate rat, like knows everything about it, you're the best at doing that. Like I don't understand, like
both of you guys are like skate nerds. I'm the worst, but I still love skating no less.
No, but you know like a good amount about like the songs. It's just crazy to me, because like I'll be looking at a spot and then he'll like rifle off every trick that's been done on it, like any famous skate spot, and then he can say what skater and then what trick, and then it's kind of crazy. I
just watch Andy Schrock. I don't know.
As a skateboarder, I think that's a curse. Not a curse, but it's also like a blessing. Like, you know what's been done, but I also feel like I don't want to do what something's been done. I want to do something new. I want to bring something new and like open someone's brain up. Like, yeah, this is possible. I know that has been done, but I don't want to do it because like I want to do something new. And I feel like for a person that doesn't watch what's been done, nothing's going to stop them from doing any trick they want to do, even if it's a basic to the hardest trick they got. Because that's it. That I think is progression. And I feel like when I think about myself now to who I was like 10 years ago, I wouldn't allow myself to do tricks that were done. And that kind of paused a lot of my progression, because it's like, yeah, I could have done everything I knew and I could have got way better, way consistent. But instead I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's been done. And I think like if anyone's listening to this and wants to take a hint, you should probably do everything that's been done and anything you can do, because that's only going to get you better and prepared for the next obstacles.
Having a signature board is like the main thing to be, considered a true pro in skateboarding. And so once that happened, I was like, okay, now I'm like actually pro. But then I have this feeling inside because the people on Braille skateboards that are pro, I guess besides Ricky, because Ricky was already pro before he joined Braille, but Mogely and I turned pro through Braille skateboarding. And in the grand scheme of the skate industry, some people look down upon that, like, because they see us as like less skilled than like a traditional pro, which, you know, might be the case for some pros, but might not be for the other, you know.
You can argue that, because I truly believe that just as much as we put in time to tricks and get them filmed, the person that's getting put on and like other like industry standards, you put out a video part, you go to competitions. I'm not going to competitions because I love street skating, and I have like, that's where I feel like I should prove myself in the field. But just as much as they're putting in work for a trick, they could take 4 days, 4 hours to land one single clip that's going to be 3 seconds to this like 2-minute video part. And I'm saying that because people think we're not out there doing that, but we are. We're doing that, and we're actually also working for a company that puts out daily videos for 2 different channels. So we're putting in way more work than other people understand. And then not just that, you understand like our bodies could only take so much. And I'm not complaining. I'm just I'm simply saying we're working insane amount compared to what a traditional pro is. And I'm not even saying that we're better. I'm just saying in their eyes, we're just goofing around and we're just raking in money. And that's not what's going on.
Yeah. So we're not like traditional skateboard pros. Like, I feel like, in my opinion, I think we have it better. I think we earn more than, you know, the average pro.
It's a different wave.
It's a different way. And yes, a lot of skateboarders would look down upon us being considered pros because of, you know, what we do. But I don't know. I feel like I'm pro as heck. I'm pro as heck right now. And, you know, a lot of pros, when they make it to pro, their drive kind of starts going down. You know, they don't have to try as hard as an AM, you know, because they're working, they're hungry to be pro. They turn pro, and then they kind of like just chill at that point. Whereas now that I'm like considered pro, I have my pro model, like I'm even more motivated to like get even better and better and better to live up to the name of being called a pro, because of the stigma that like Braille pros are like not real pros or whatever, whoever even says that.
And that's subjective, because like,
for sure,
if you look back 2015, 2016, people didn't really like people that were doing YouTube videos and skating. They were like, oh, those are posers. And nowadays it's 2022. You see skaters being accepted just to put out content on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram to make a living. So it's like, we may be we may be one of the, not the first to be going pro through a YouTube company, but I truly understand that this is like a different point where maybe in 3 years, other companies are going to be putting out content on YouTube and they're going to make exactly what we're doing, but then it'll be accepted. So it's like, you're here doing something new, people don't like it. But guess what? People are going to adapt and they're going to do it like in their way. And then it's like, they're going to forget that the hate was ever there. But even then, like, I also think maybe we're creating the hate in our own brain. Because it's like, I think back years ago to another perspective I was having, and I'm like arguing with myself all the time. I'm like, no, that's just my old mentality. But there's a lot of people with that mentality. But I feel like the skating speaks for itself. Those that see the skating, they understand.
yeah.
I think you guys, I mean, I guess like traditionally you become a pro skater and then you go and sit in the van and you go on trips and then you go on these like, you basically are on the road and traveling, and then you get to film video parts and do all of that stuff. And that's kind of like, at least for me, when I think about if that was ever a possibility, that's what I would want. But like,
That sounds so fun.
Yeah. And
we do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, but I don't think it's in the same way that other companies do it. And I think that's like the thing that's missing from Braille. That's like kind of unfortunate that there's no like travel. There's no like.
I mean, we did just go to Vegas for
That
filming.
is true. The
A
Vegas
5-day
thing was
Vegas
pretty
trip.
sick.
That was pretty sick.
That
Everyone
was
kind of
sick.
killed it on that too.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully people see whenever the video parts come out. We're working on it. Trust.
Yeah, I just would like to see more traveling, like doing that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Me
agree.
too. I agree.
All I got to say though is if I was at the fork in the road where it's like go with traditional skate company GoPro or go with Braille GoPro, I would 1,000% choose Braille again, because I think through this route working with Braille, we're making a bigger, deeper impact than if I was just like a skater that's really sick and like renowned for my skating. Whereas with Braille, I'm renowned for a lot of other things that I do too, because like, you know, we capture a lot more than like a pro skater traditionally would put out. They put out, their best skate tricks in a video part. Whereas we're on the internet, like 2 different channels, like every single day, sharing insights, our interests, our hijinks. And they're getting such a deep connection with us through that, because they're like almost hanging out with us. Whereas a traditional pro, all you'd really see of them is like clips of them in a van, like in a tour video, or like their full part, and maybe an interview in a magazine, or like a video interview, or like a podcast nowadays. But that was pretty rare back in the day. So I'm glad we're with Braille, because we just build that deeper connection with our fan base. And like, I don't know, it's just deep is good, deep and wholesome.
Same. Not just that, but unlike a majority of like core skate companies, we actually see our teammates all the time. So it's like, I think that's like something that not many companies get to have, because like, although we're very different, we spend time with each other every week. So we've developed our relationships like, I guess the bond is stronger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's why a company like Revive or Braille is really cool, because when like Baker first started, or whatever company first started, it was just a bunch of friends, and they were like, let's all just make a video, make some shirts, make some boards. I'm like, whoever's really good, we'll put their name on the board, and then we'll have a sick video, and it's just us hanging out. And that's kind of died within the skate industry. Like, there's not a lot of companies out there where it's like, it feels like they're a group of friends who hang out together. There's still a few, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's like when you see Braille and you see Revive, that's the huge dynamic with it, is that they're all just a bunch of friends hanging out, having a good time, selling a product so that they can all make a little bit of money, and they don't have to go work graveyard shifts and these terrible jobs. And it's like all they have to do is skate every day and hang out together. And I think that's kind of sick.
And that's where the magic is too, having that family dynamic. And another thing that sets Braille and Revive apart from like the rest of the industry is a lot of our viewers are younger, so we try to be like positive role models. We don't really like show any like drug usage or like booze or anything. It's just all about having fun with your friends skating, and it really is all about having fun, and we just want to be good role models. Whereas some companies are like all about like hash party, and that's cool too. That's all well and fine, but just what we're about is like just being good role models, and I love that.
Well, you guys are essentially entertainers.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, the Braille videos get millions of views, but how many of those millions of viewers are actually skaters? Like, I imagine it's not that many.
That's true.
I think I think less than like 60% of our viewers can ollie or something like that. It's some pretty huge number where like people that skate or that don't skate still like watching our videos, and like, and it eventually gets them into wanting to try. And like, that's the whole thing, is getting new people to skate, because it grows the industry. And when the industry grows, everybody within the industry, can flourish a little more.
Well, I think in a sense, you guys are having a bigger impact on the community, because like when traditional skate companies put out video parts, I imagine only skaters are watching that. And how many of them are actually watching like for the tricks? Like, oh, he did a switch inward heel down El Toro, or he did a nollie back 3 blunt on Hollywood High.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you guys are over here making videos that are fun for everyone. Like, you don't have to be a skater to enjoy the videos.
Exactly.
So I think you guys are having more impact that way. And it sucks because Braille street cred isn't really that great. Like, people think, oh, Braille? Yeah, they just make videos for little kids.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what is a real skater? What even is a real skater?
Well, to me, you guys are the realest skaters, because you guys go out and you skate like a lot.
Thank you.
And all these core connotations for like, oh, what's real skateboarding and what's not, it's made up.
Absolutely.
Because what even is skateboarding?
You ride the board.
100%.
Yeah.
We watch skate videos every day during lunch. I mean, it's funny though, because like you meet all the people who hate on it or whatever. Like, I met some guys that like work at Deluxe, which is like pretty big. They own like Crooked and Real and
Skate distribution.
Yeah, it's a big skate distribution. And I was talking to them about Braille, and like they were like, the more I talked to them about it, I was like, yeah, it's like really cool. And they're like, oh, I thought it was really whack, but now that I've talked to you about it, it seems pretty cool. And I think like the more people just actually talk to us and don't just like judge through a screen, the more they start to realize like these guys are really dope. Like they just want to go skateboard and have a good time, and they work for a company, and that's who pays them, and that's how they're able to pay their bills and take care of whoever or whatever it is.
It's a good life.
That's all it is. Like it's not so deep, when you look at it.
All right, another word from our sponsors. Does it look like an incredible, effective, safe, and efficient automatic air purifier in here? No? Or is it just me? All right, meet the Vortex Auto Air Purifier. This beauty is a beast when it comes to purifying air in small spaces like your car, office, or any small places. Worried about bad stuff in the air? Don't. Why the blue sky? Or do leprechauns exist? Can you really slide on a rainbow? These are things you could think about instead of the air. So go get yourself a Vortex Auto Air Purifier.
Anyways, guys, we finally reached that point in the podcast where I start bringing up money. Does anybody want to talk about their bling bling finances?
I'll tell you exactly how much I make. I don't care. I make $20 an hour to film these guys skateboard.
Damn. Wait, full time?
No, I work
Yeah.
I work 1 or 2 days a week, and usually it's like Wednesday or Thursday. I mean, I still just want to skate. It kind of like I love filming and like being there, but I just want to skate a lot of the time. Like I just want to skate. Like sitting there all day long while everyone's skating around you is like, dang.
That's why I can't be a filmer, because I love skating too much.
I want to skate so bad. The other day, Mogely took the camera from me and started filming. I was like, this is the
Good
best.
job, Mo.
I was so hyped. Like I was like, I can play a game of skate for the channel. I can just skate, and I'm getting paid right now. That was the first time I ever got paid for just skating.
Manifest it.
I don't know. I just want to be paid for just skating, but I also want to film. I love filming, so I don't know. It's kind of both. But yeah, I don't. At the moment, I'm just kind of living off of paycheck to paycheck, and then skating a lot.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. So
Mogely, would you like to go into your finances?
I feel very envious. $20 an hour, that's more than me.
Uh-oh.
I love that though. I love that for you. I get paid $18 an hour for Braille. But due to other sources of income, like Instagram has this program, it's called Reels, like Reels bonus. You're able to make money on that. For about 6 months, it was lit. And all of a sudden they changed their rules up with some amount of views you have to reach. And it's literally almost like a video game that you were playing on easy mode, and they turned it into hard mode times 10. So it's harder to get the views. And that was able to generate a good amount of money. So it was golden days. But that was helping a lot. There's this TikTok. I don't really make anything from that because like their creative fund is like kind of boof. But there is this other program that ties in with TikTok. It's called Pair Pop. So you just use songs that like big artists are pushing out. Like, we want you to use this song and we'll pay you depending on how many views you get. That's like reasonable. And so if anybody ever sees like my TikToks and they're like wondering, why is he choosing this random song? Well, it's because Pair Pop's pushing that song, and I could get some money because I'm using that. That's a good one. YouTube, I never really made money that was crazy amount on my own channel unless it was on a Vlogmas. Vlogmas is when I post every day for the month of December till Christmas. 2020's Vlogmas was lit for me. I got like a good $900 for that one. And then the following month I got a good 900 as well, just because like those videos did really good for that month, like together. And plus the amount of ads YouTube pushes during Christmas and November, because like Black Friday and the holidays, it's really good for you to like make more videos around that time. So that's always been helpful. And then just brand deals. So random brand deals can always be a blessing.
Where do you make most of your money? Like, is it straight from Braille or the salary, or
just Braille, or it just depends. Like if a brand really is like, yo, we're trying to do this, and you're like, for reals, all right. And what I mean by that is like sometimes they'll be down to pay you like $1,000 or $2,000. I mean, for me as like a small creator, that's good for like one post or a one YouTube video that doesn't require the full video to be about them, but just like mention it. So in the beginning or like a little bit after 2 minutes, you can just bring up like, hey, this video is brought to you by
Manscaped.
Vortex.
What is a company you've worked with in the past
for YouTube or where?
for YouTube or anything?
For anything, I think one of my favorite ones that I've worked with was
Tilly's?
Tilly's. Yeah, Tilly's asked me to do a TikTok and they paid me $500. They sent me clothes, and it was just like I got to pick it off their website. I got 2 Nyjah shoes and a pair of pants and shirt, and that was sick. It was just one TikTok. I was very fortunate for that. Another one that went better than I thought was a Champion deal. Like they paid me $500 as well.
Wait, really? Champion hooked you up?
Champion sent me
What?
about 8 sweaters,
Lucky.
different colors, 5 sweats, and a pair of shoes. And they just wanted me to do a TikTok with that, like a dance though. So it was like for me,
You got a dance video?
so it was awkward. Yeah, it was awkward for me because like I didn't know what to do.
Oh, is it still on TikTok?
Yeah, it's still on TikTok. I'm not gonna take it
watch
off
right now.
So I did it. I thought it was like cringe and not good. So I was like, I hope they accept it. They accepted it. And then they said, hey, Champion liked the video so much they want to push it further into TikTok. Are you are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, you already paid me, you know, like why, like that's cool. Like you're paying me for this. So with that, it got like 200,000 views.
Go, Mogely's
And-
dancing.
Oh yeah, Mogely doing the renegade.
Yeah, that's exactly the song they wanted.
Bruh, no way.
I did like that they sent me one of their sweaters that was like 75 out of 75 sweaters. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But basically, if you're consistent with like all these platforms, you're able to build up revenue through all of them, and it can help you like fund trips. Cause like I've funded a lot of trips throughout my my own personal YouTube journey, like South Korea, Japan, Miami, LA, a lot of the times with my friends. And it's just like the reason I take on all these brand deals is because like it's money I didn't have that can help me fund trips that I think about. And a lot of these trips really are amazing because you meet a lot of people, you create a lot of memories, and it only helps you understand what kind of creator you want to become. So it's it's worth it. To me, I don't care what anyone says because it's like that's money I didn't have, and I'm down. Like that money's gonna fund a lot of my goals. So I know a lot of people didn't like TikTok in the beginning because they were like, oh, it's just a bunch of kids on there. Nah, like that was the time to hop on in the beginning because it blew up fast. But now it's like not that easy to grow on there. But that's with every platform. Everyone's gonna say something about it until you hop on. I've turned down brand deals. Like I'll actually look at their brief and I'll think, well, is this something that aligns with me? Like if it was Amazon, I'd be down, but I don't think I'll ever use this site. And nah, it's not cool. I mean, I'll do it if there was a higher number, but not for like a low $200.
Tell them up it.
That's when you do. Dude, I actually did that for one brand deal. I was like, I thought they were like a scam. And it was
Chonies one?
No.
Oh.
That one's sick.
Now, I know. I'm sad I didn't go
What's
with that one.
chonies?
Underwear.
Chonies is like,
Oh.
like you say your chonies is like your underwear in Spanish. It's like a slang.
Wait, that's the one I filmed you do back 3 lip.
Yeah.
And then he like back 3 lift the 3-stair rail and then like sat down and you were like, my underwear is so comfortable or something.
Yeah, I think I used that for a swipe up story. So the one that I was talking about is like this
That's fire.
Leo Indoor or something like that. It's like a France clothing line, and they're mainly for women, but they were releasing a men's, and they DM'd me. Only reason I was like, I don't know if this is real, but it had a blue check, and I was like, okay, there's a possibility you're real. So I put in, yo, they hit me up with the brand, and I was like, I don't know, for 10K I'll do it. And I was just throwing it up there because I was like, I don't care, bro, like it's whatever. But we ended up talking it down, very down, because I was like, I don't care, like this is not something that I'll probably really believe in. And I was just joking with them, but we brought it down to like just 1,000 just because they were willing to do just one post. So next time you have a blue check mark, 10K.
What about you, Chris? How much do you make?
I'm not going to say a number, but just know that I make enough money to have all the gourmet ingredients I ever need to make dinner every single night of the week. And it's great.
Maybe the more of the question is like, where does your money come from?
I will tell you all of my sources of income. Ready? All right. I'm on the payroll for Braille Skateboarding. You know, being on camera, they pay me. I get a salary for being on Braille Skateboards as a pro, so a monthly salary. I get royalties for all merch and board sales I get, a certain percentage. I don't want to reveal too much information. I'm also a Twitch live streamer, so every month I get paid from that, and that alone pays my bills.
Dang.
And then
That's a lot of money, dude.
yeah, and then I get YouTube. I'll get like a little bit here and there just because I don't upload anymore. TikTok, same thing a little bit. I get brand deals. Like I just got asked today to do a cryptocurrency one. I can't reveal which one it is, but that's gonna pay good. I've done session video game work, Ollie video game work. So they pay me like you know, $500 to $1,500 per video, whatever. And then I also do Instagram. And like Mogely was saying, they have the Reels bonus program where they give you a month to get a certain amount of views. And for every view, you get a certain amount of money and you can reach the max or not.
But yeah, just to put it out there, anyone listening, I am not filthy rich right now. And I'm saying right now because I truly believe that with everything that I know and what the future holds, not saying that I have anything coming up, but just saying like
He does.
I feel like I just know that I can't allow myself to fail because that's not who I am. And right now I'm taking champion brand deals. Who knows? Next time it might be Nike, which already did happen. Tilly's. But I'm talking about like on a grand scale.
Well, you can't fail because you already turned pro. So if you failed at this point, you could just be like, yeah, I was a pro skater.
Yeah,
So you won.
you're right.
Yeah, you can fail now and it's cool. You already won.
You know, I've already thought about that. Like I thought, I'm done. I'm good. Like I'm good. I just want to have fun now.
I want to win.
Dude, you're winning. You're
I'm
friends
not.
with us.
Yeah,
That's
well,
winning.
my friends are pro skaters.
Yeah, you're friends with you're on a podcast with pro skaters.
That is pretty cool.
Hey, you get to film them
yeah, that is
all
the
the
best.
time and get paid.
That
And
is
you
the
get paid
best.
more than them.
Yeah, that is also.
I never
crazy.
said that. I never
Okay,
I
okay,
never
okay.
said that.
Oh.
Does he get paid more than you?
Hell no.
It's all good.
I mean, I could be lying. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really care about the money.
Guessing.
I do it purely for like, because it's fun. And if it wasn't fun, then I wouldn't be doing it. And I don't know. I don't feel like I'm very money driven ever in life. So I could just kind of eat very basic meals and live out of my car if I really needed to.
I did want to just say one thing about turning pro is like my grandparents always wanted me to do better things. Like with my life, they wanted me to be a doctor or a veterinarian, which I was going to do. I kept skating and just followed my heart. And then they were bummed because like I'm like in my 20s, like not really having a solid career, but like still doing what I love and enjoying life. And then I finally turned pro and then they're just like, oh, damn, like we're glad we didn't like make you do something you didn't want to. Like we're glad that it all worked out for you. You kept following your dreams and made it a reality. And now they're not worried about me and they're like proud of me that, you know, even though they had my best interest in mind and heart, I just kept doing what I felt was right and I made something out of it. And so they're hyped. And sometimes, you know, people think they know what's best for you, but you got to follow your heart. But also you got to understand that sometimes other people do have a better perspective and they are probably trying to help you and maybe you do need help. But if you know deep down in your heart that you should be doing something, you know, like following your dreams or a certain passion or whatever, then definitely try and do that first. Do what makes you happy.
Hey, and if that involves living in your car, I mean, do it.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
When I first started working at Braille, I did it. I did it for like 4 or 5 months. Then the pandemic hit and then it was just different after that. Then a few months later, Ricky and Chris got a place and I was able to stay there for now. So very thankful, but also sometimes you really want it bad and you'll almost face the challenges just to make it happen. And to touch on like your family, like wanting to tell you to do something else, I think it's even better when they see that you can accomplish the things that you've wanted. Because like even with my mom, she's like, never knew that this was even a thing or possible. And then just to show her that it's possible and this can become like a career, it opens their doors and shows them that the possibilities are really endless if you really give it your all.
We can all like sit here and like relate to that of like skateboarding is a lot of happiness. And then when you're skating, like I can get angry, but when I like deep down the root of it is joy, as you said. So like that's all I ever want to do. I just want to ride my skateboard and ride my skateboard as I'm filming somebody or, you know.
Heck yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about skating now because we've only mentioned like 2 tricks, and we're on a skate podcast.
It's the 10 Club, bro.
It's the 10 Club,
Come
man.
on.
Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh, I'm blushing.
Okay, well, I want to know what some of the most memorable like tricks or persistence battles you guys have had are.
The one trick I can think of that was like the sweetest victory was me doing a switch laser flip down a 3-block.
I love that clip.
At my hometown of Napomo, California. Shout out Napomo. It took me 3 sessions to get that. And each time I battled it for like 45 minutes to an hour, which might not be long for some people, but it was for me. I know. Anyways, the third day, I finally got it, and it's on YouTube. I think it was like 12 years ago. You could see it on YouTube. Just look up switch laser flip 3-block, and it's like a 6-second clip of me doing it.
It's sick.
The sad thing is though, so my friend Christian Turbis was filming it with my fisheye camera. In the one try that I landed, he sat down to film me because he was getting tired, and he like botched the clip kinda. The one try.
I hate when that happens.
You can like see his knee in the clip.
Yeah, I mean he still got it, but I don't know. But yeah, that one was like a really, really long, like 3-day battle, and I finally got it, and it was just the best. So switch laser flip 3-block for sure.
All right. What about you, Mo?
I guess around 2019, I started just like really focusing on doing hard tricks. It was 2018 and it progressed into 2019 that I really started focusing on doing difficult tricks. So one of the tricks that is still like iconic to me is a tray flip front feeble, just because like that took 11 days, and right when I landed it, I felt so free. And this is like a period where I'm just like very time efficient. So like I only had a limited amount of time each time I went to the park. So I wouldn't even skate around. I would just get there and immediately start trying the trick. There was no like, oh, let's go have fun on this flat bar or this box. I would just start throwing tray flip into a front feeble until I did land two on day 7 or day 8, but I hand tapped with like my hands, so I didn't accept that. So it was on a morning. I did the 360 flip front feeble, landed it, and I remember I was like on a super high. Like it felt crazy. I felt like the most energized I've ever been, and this is really early on a Sunday. I landed it, and then ironically the next day NK hit me up for the whole thing for Braille. So it's always been like this thing, like I just felt so free at that time, that energy. And like I'm a big person on like wanting to do difficult tricks, not to prove that I'm the best, but just to prove to myself that with thought I can do any trick that I think of. So I've like always loved that idea. Like, what does 360 flip dark slide look like? Well, I want to know, and I want to see myself doing it on a camera. Like how do I look doing it? So I spend a lot of time thinking of difficult tricks, like some recent ones that I've been thinking about that sound crazy. I don't know if they sound crazy, but it just like, I haven't seen this. I like on a rail, I would like to do a back blunt and then pop it and land into a switchback Smith. That sounds like it would be sick. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick.
Or the other one, it would be front blunt, pop, and then do like a switch front Smith grind.
Front side 90 to switch. Yeah.
So like these are things that I think about. Like right now I'm like healing and I can't really turn like that, but this is something that I want to do. But because my mind is like thinking about these tricks, and it's like the only way I can stop thinking about it is if I go and do it. And then it's like, this is just like how life is for me. Like once I do something, it's like easier to stop thinking about it, and like I could progress forward. And I feel like that's a lot of the things with goals.
That is true. What about you, Andrew?
I skate alone a lot, and not a lot of my tricks have been on video. So it's like if I say something, it's kind of like I did this thing that no one ever filmed.
It didn't happen,
Yeah,
liar.
exactly. But I think there's like a recording of me doing like a really bad kickflip crook. But when I learned kickflip crook, it was like kind of a milestone in my skateboarding, at least, because I'd like that was like one of the first times I've like flipped into a trick, and then it's like to do a kickflip and then a crooked grind, and you see it by like a bunch of pros. Like who is it? We just watched the Baker video.
Dustin Dollin.
Figgy did a kickflip backside, or yeah, Dustin Dollin
Dollin,
does it
actually.
on Hollywood 12 and Baker 3. But Figgy just did it in the last Baker video, and you're like sitting there and you're like, a trick I can do is like a trick that pros are doing, and then you're like, whoa, that's so sick. Like I feel like I'm good at skateboarding. And I think that was like the first trick that I've like done where I see it commonly done by pros.
Well, now I want to know how you guys get better at skating and like keep progressing despite injury, discouragement, and work. Although I guess like your job is to skate, so just ignore that last one.
Well, I try to avoid injury, and I try to avoid injury by keeping my body strong, keeping it conditioned, working out muscles that I use, doing the cold showers, eating really healthy, not drinking crappy drinks. So I pretty much take as optimal care of my body as I possibly can because it's to serve my skateboarding. So I used to be really unhealthy growing up as a kid. And then I finally I think I was a senior in high school. I'm like, wow, I'm like an athlete. Like I skate. Maybe I should eat like an athlete. So I quit soda, energy drinks, all this and that. Slowly like optimize my diet and fitness. And now I feel better than I did when I was skating in high school. Like legitimately, I'm a lot stronger.
At 30?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting younger. It's crazy.
Dude, I gotta quit soda.
Dude,
Oh,
quit
definitely.
soda.
It's like I stopped drinking soda and it's like instant. It's
Yeah.
almost like first like week you'll like feel crazy better. I don't know, just
Trust me.
drinking any sugar is so gnarly. So much gnarlier than I ever thought it would be until I stopped drinking sugar.
Yeah, refined sugar is actually terrible for you. For when I make my drinks and stuff, I just use honey instead of sugar because it has like B vitamins, enzymes, vitamins and minerals.
I mean, if you can clean a toilet with Coca-Cola.
Hold up, you can?
You can clean the toilets and you can remove battery corrosion.
It's because of the
with soda.
citrus in it.
Well, it's so acidic. It's so acidic, I guess, that it just eats away corrosion or like poo-poo stains in your toilet or whatever.
When it comes to like, how do I prevent injuries? It's challenging because like I like the things I like to skate outside of a park and like how I just said learning tricks, it doesn't even translate to the way I skate outside, like in street skating. I literally love everything about skateboarding. Like I love jumping down stuff. I love grinding rails. I love like manual pads, even if it's like challenging myself in a different way. And it just like more of a mental battle there. I really do love everything. So sometimes it'll be jumping down big stuff and that can take a toll on my body because like maybe I didn't practice enough and I'm just kicking out, but I'm too stubborn to stop and I want to do it that day. So I've been better about like training myself for those moments. Not only that, but just knowing when to stop doing tricks because maybe it's time for another day. Maybe I got to let go of it today so I could think about it a little bit more and then come back prepared.
I don't know. I have really bad ankle problems, like developed over a long time of skateboarding, and it's hard to prevent injuries. You kind of just have to accept that you will be injured. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of risky. Skateboarding is risky, and like I just hope I never have like a serious injury. But having little tiny injuries, like my wrists are kind of messed up and my ankles are a little bit messed up. It just kind of comes with the territory. So
Yeah, skating is kind of playing with fire a little bit.
yeah,
It's fun. I would say though, good advice for like, expect small injuries like that. But when you do get injuries, like treat them really well, let them heal before you start using that part again. Cause like that was one of my mistakes growing up skating is like I'd roll my ankle, but it was only Friday evening and we still have Saturday and Sunday to skate. So like I got to go skate with my friends cause we're going on the trip or whatever. When in reality, like I would go skate the whole weekend, even though my ankle was hurt when I should just be chilling. And it's hard when you love skating and you're itching to go skate. Your friends want you to go hang out and you're just there and you're like, all right, I could skate. I'll do a couple tricks. And then that leads into like you trying stuff and it's just that's not the way. So if you hurt yourself, roll your ankle, hurt your your wrist, bruise your palm. Like fully heal it or get at least 90% before you start skating. And then I think you'll really thank yourself in the long run for that.
Yeah, healing your injuries is very good advice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Different things like have definitely like stuck around because I didn't take care of them.
Exactly.
And even now it's like, dang, kind of irreversible. Like I went to a doctor and asked them about my ankle, and they were like, yeah, well, if you want to fix this, you kind of have to have surgery. So I don't know. It's like, it's all right. It's not like the worst, and I get through it, but
it's part of the skate life.
yeah, being a skateboarder hurts a lot, but it's worth it.
I agree. Skateboarding is one of the most transforming things you could do. I was just like little gelatinous, like uncoordinated kid that played video games all the time. And then skateboarding was the thing that like basically crafted me into like this athlete, like mental and physical. And it literally teaches you to like act well in the moment or you're going to get broke off. So it really teaches you to be in the moment, which is a really key thing in life.
Yeah, you have to like fully commit to anything you do in skateboarding.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about anything else besides that very moment and like how you react or like, you know, then you get broke off. And so it just trains you to just be like in the moment, and that's good.
The craziest thing is if you think about, oh, I'm going to get hurt this try, and then you try it, you're going to get hurt every single time. But I don't even understand that because I'll be thinking, I'm going to land it this try. I don't land it every time I think I'm going to land it.
You're not believing hard enough.
But that does translate into other aspects of life, you know? Like you literally can't think that you're going to fail. There's no way you can think that you can fail.
Nah, yeah. I think of my thoughts as like a sail, and I got to adjust my thoughts like I adjust my sail to have the smooth sailing. Because if I have my thoughts in here going all crazy, then my ship's going to go all crazy too. So you got to keep your thoughts in line and make sure they're always talking yourself up and like giving yourself, you know, that boost, and never be limiting to yourself. Cause yeah, even if it actually is like impossible, just be like, oh, I could probably do that with enough time and effort.
Yeah. 100%.
Don't ever discredit yourself or like talk bad about yourself in your thoughts. Cause you're listening. Something else is listening. And yeah,
definitely.
Well, now I want to know how you guys feel about competitive skateboarding. Like, do you think it's fair to judge everyone's tricks linearly from 1 to 10, like despite everyone's own individuality, or how do you feel?
That's where you can actually judge skateboarding is like, it's so individualistic that it's like, what's the hardest trick for that person? Like if some kid I see in a parking lot is trying kickflip for 4 hours straight and then lands his kickflip, I'm like, that is the hardest trick ever for that kid. And that's a 10. But then like Nigel could go do a kickflip in a parking lot. I'm like, that's a Nigel kickflip. He's got that first try, every try.
Yeah, but whose kickflip was better?
The kids, because it was more passion. There's more. That's why you watch like a Supreme video or something or whatever videos. But like I feel like the Supreme videos are a good example because it's a lot of basic, easier tricks. Not all the time, but a good amount of the time. It's like basic, easier tricks, and then they're done like really well or on a hard spot, or like you're seeing somebody really struggle to land it or something, and you're like, now you're invested and you're like passionate about it. Yeah. When I watch a skate part or a video part or whatever it is, it's the passion behind the trick. How hard like was it for them to land it?
I like competition. I think competition is good for progress. Obviously there's like, it can be a toxic thing too, but if you use competition the right way, you can use it to really push yourself to be better than you were before. And that's just, you know, one way to motivate yourself to be better is having people to compete with. Now with skating, there's like two different realms because skating is like an art. It's like an art, a physical art. So when it comes to judging skating, it's kind of like hard to do, I guess, because there's really like no objective way to judge it. But there are like things they look for, like difficulty of trick, flow, style, this and that. So skating being in like the Olympics and stuff, I think it's really good for the industry as a whole because it's just getting more people, you know, getting more eyes to skating, and that's what I want. I want skating to be spread as far and wide as possible.
Yudo's in like Toyota commercials, and that's sick. Like now a pro skater's in a Toyota commercial, and now Toyota has given their thumbs up to that skating is cool, and like it's like center of media, and everyone can see it. That's good for
it's really good.
That's only good for skateboarding. And
because like I remember the last person that I saw with a car commercial was Tony Hawk's in the Mini Cooper.
Oh yeah.
That's the last car commercial that I can remember. I think it's good for skateboarding just because like it pushes skateboarding. You look at what the Olympics was compared to what maybe the first street X Games was, and they're probably completely different in like the terms of the level of tricks. So I think it's really good because like whoever's being on that big screen is broadcasting like to the whole world like what skateboarding is. Not only that, but whoever the next generation is, they'll say, oh, that's the tricks that we should be doing. So they get it on lock, and then they start evolving that. And it just becomes like this thing that grows and grows and just becomes better. And you never know like the possibilities that it could do, because like I just feel like even seeing football players, basketball players, it's just such a big thing in culture that maybe skateboarding's next, and it's just getting there on a smaller scale, I guess.
I look at skateboarding as an art, at least for myself, because it is like there is something that's beautiful about it, and it feels kind of like dancing in a way.
Oh yeah.
Like my sister is like really good ballet dancer. She's like a ballerina.
Dang.
And we're always talking about it because she feels like, or I feel, I don't know, it feels so similar when we both talk about it, like how there's choreography and then you're like doing that on your skateboard, and then she's thinking about all of her movements, what movements would look like the best, and then I'm thinking about what movements would look the best for myself, and then we film it and you put it all together. So it feels kind of crazy. So that's why people get upset, because the Olympics they won't let dancing in it. So why are we supposed to be in it? But I don't know. I think that it's good for exposure wise.
Yeah. Let's grow the industry and let's make skateboarding as big as possible.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you, but I think that's a wrap for today. Thanks for listening to this episode of the 10 Club Podcast. I've been your host, Joel, and I'll let you guys sign out.
This is Chris McNugget Perez. Thank you, 10 Club, for having me on here. Shout out to Central Coast, California, 805.
This is Andrew. I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
This is Mogely. I hope y'all enjoyed.